Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video and hope you guys are doing well today. I wanted to make this video in the style of an interview, posing 10 interview style questions to Blizzard around Cata. Now, whilst I'm not expecting them to answer, of course, I want to also explain why knowing the answers to these questions is quite important for the Classic community heading into Cata. Now, before we start though, I want to ask a question of the day. Given the opportunity to ask one question to Blizzard about Cata, what would it be and why? And if you want a fun little bonus challenge or a bonus question, how do you think they would respond to your question? So the first question is, the guild system has changed, somewhat dramatically. And with no word if this is the final state, what is the current plan for guild systems, guild achievements, and the guild system in general? Now, this is an important question because you would have had teams looking for PvPers to go and do RBGs, so they got their weekly bonus. You will have had people planning to go and make 3,000 flasks to go and get the achievement for the Cauldron. You will have had people going and planning to do different things, and this has dramatically changed their plans. So, knowing what the guild system is going to look like is quite an important part of Cataclysm. It was one of the major features, and it does feel like it's been gutted in a way. Now, I agree with some of the changes they've made, but some of the other ones are just completely out of left pocket, and we don't know why they've made them. They haven't really talked to us about them, hence the video. So, yeah, I'm interested to know, again, if you guys want to answer any of these questions or answer what you think they should do around these, please let me know in the comments below. The second question then, systems have dramatically changed since original Cataclysm release. What is the current release plan for 310% mounts, the associated achievements, and the 310% riding speed training in Cataclysm? So for those of you that don't know, in Cataclysm we have multiple different stages of riding. We have the 150% riding speed, we have 280% speed riding, and 310. Now, it's actually purchasable to have 310 riding in Cataclysm. You just go to the vendor and pay your 5k. However, in original Cataclysm, as long as you had a 310% mount, you automatically learnt Master Riding, which is what it's called, the 310 riding speed, on that character. Now, something that's important at the time is we didn't have shared mounts or shared achievements, so this was something that was very, very character specific. If one character had a 310 mount, it automatically got it. If your ult didn't have a 310, just because your main does, you didn't get it. You had to go and buy it. So this is going to be a major thing. Should people go and be farming a 310% mount now, or are they able to just wait if they've got one on their main? If you've got a Mim's Head or an Invincible. So it's quite an important answer. It's been mentioned that 60 to 80 leveling will be sped up in Cataclysm. Is that happening within the pre-patch, and are we going to take advantage of it then? What are the numbers surrounding that? How much faster will we be expecting to level through Outland and Northrend? Now, I don't think this is a massively important question. I think the leveling gets sped up generally anyway. But it is something that they have told us is coming, and we have no information at all about. So, yeah, I'm really interested. In Wrath, we had a decently long period between Wrath releasing and Tier 7 dropping. Will this be the case for Cata raids as well? Now, there is so much to achieve in them first week or so before the raids come out, or week or 2 weeks. You're going to have multiple reps to try and get exalted with. Most people are going to be trying to do their Tol Barad dailies. You've got professions that they're going to want to do. Some of those are going to have epics that you're going to want to craft that require daily transmutes. There's going to be so much to try and achieve that are we going to have enough time before the raid comes out to get to our, pre-raid BIS status? And further on to that question, will we get Barad in Hold the same week or the week after? Now in Wrath, I believe we got Vaults of Archivon the week after. Now, again, quite important. It's not an easy boss. It is going to take, half an hour to go and do. And we're already getting 3 raids dropped at the same time in Throne of the Four Winds, Bastion of Twilight, and Blackwing Descent. Adding another raid to that, people are not going to have the time, on their normal raid schedules, so they may have to go and schedule extra raid time. So it's quite important to know what's coming and when. We saw changes to Rets, Ferals, Shaman, Hunter, and DKs in Wrath, just to name a few. Are we expected to see any class changes in Cataclysm at all? Now, this is a huge question. I've talked about enhancement chamois and how, it's such a fun spec to play, but it's not in the greatest state throughout Cataclysm. It gets better as the expansion goes on, and I do think that, we're going to be able to perform on it. You have things like Frost DK, which really doesn't really compete with Unholy DK in most scenarios. Arms and Fury Warrior, very similar situation. Arms is so good throughout the entire expansion, Fury becomes a spec in Dragon Soul. And it's the same for casters. Arcane starts as an okay spec with minimal gear, quickly gets overtaken by fire, and then you're just fire for the rest of the expansion. Are we going to see any class balance changes? And if we are, can we talk about them early rather than just having them completely dropped out of nowhere? That'd be great. Following on from that, the glyphs added in Wrath of the Lich King, i.e. the Omen and Clarity glyph for Druids, the Hand of Reckoning glyph for Ret Paladins, what is to happen to them? Now, I've asked this question to a couple of people, and it looks like at the moment, if you were to copy a character over to the beta before they stopped allowing it for no reason at all, then you actually kept the glyph. The glyph has a tooltip, but doesn't seem to work or function. Now, we're expecting that these are just going to get removed and they're not going to work and they're not going to be in Cataclysm. If you make a pre-made character which has all of the glyphs, they don't have the Omen and Clarity or Hand of Reckoning glyph. But, again, it's something that was a sizable increase in DPS for both classes. We really need to know what's going on with them. Given the widely negative feedback surrounding the beta and the issues and resolutions on it, are you confident that both pre-patch and Cataclysm release will launch without issues? This is so important, and probably the most important question in this entire list, because you have so many people that are going, you know what, I'm going to give Cataclysm a go. We've got some great content creators that are really hyping up Cata, Scott, Go, all trying to hype up Cata and really make people give it a go, give it a try. So many people were turned off it the first time, and I think if we get anything less than a smooth release, people are just going to say, it's not worth my time, I'll come back in MOP, or I'll come back later. And that would be so disappointing if Cataclysm just suffers because we don't get a good release or a good product. Season Discovery has received 4 blue posts in the last 48 hours at the time of this recording. Cataclysm's last 2 posts were 15 days ago and 27 days ago, respectively, giving absolutely minimal information. Is there any information you can shed on why the information and communication has been so absent? I'm a massive advocate for communication. I think it makes the world turn, and I hate the fact that we have just had nothing at all when you've got Agrand posting around Season Discovery constantly on Twitter. You're seeing multiple blue posts over the course of a week around Season Discovery. Don't get me wrong, that's great. I'm not saying take away from Season Discovery. I'm saying Cataclysm should have something as well. I'm not trying to crap talk anyone at Blizzard, or, Agrand loves Season Discovery, obviously, and he's very passionate about it. He should be allowed to post and talk about it. But do we have anyone that's the same for Cataclysm? And it doesn't appear to be the case. Now, my final question, as yet we have not received or heard of any raid testing taking place for Tier 11. Is that something that is coming prior to Cataclysm launch? And do you think it will impact people in the pre-patch whilst there is a lot of things to try and achieve? Now, I can tell you personally that if they add raid testing during pre-patch, I'll probably go and do it. But I know I will not be happy that I will be wasting time where I don't have much time at all to try and get everything I want done to go and raid test when we've had time previous to that where, there isn't much to do. So the other part to that is they have to release smooth. Raiding is one of the biggest selling points of Tier 11, and if all of a sudden we get to raids and they are a complete buggy mess, again, this is what I was talking about with the other question, it can't be a buggy product. It just can't be. It has to release in a good way. So these are the 10 questions I have for Blizzard, and don't get me wrong, I don't think that I'm ever going to get answers to a lot of these questions, and that's kind of sad, but I think they are all questions that are really, really important to answer. Now, let me know again if there's any I've missed, or if there's any that you would like to see answered yourself. Let me know in the comments. Love to hear from you guys. Thank you for watching and catch you later. Goodbye.